Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a juicy topic that's been debated forever. Can money buy happiness? You've probably heard that old saying, money can't buy happiness, but I'm here to tell you, my amazing YouTube fam, that it's not the full story, and I'm going to break it down with real facts, personal vibes, and some deep thoughts on rich versus poor, stress, joy, and all that good stuff. So grab a snack, get cozy, and let's unpack why money can make a massive difference in happiness, even if it's not the whole puzzle. That saying, it's got a sliver of truth, but it totally misses how money can lift the crushing weight of life's toughest struggles. Picture this. When you're scraping by, stressing over rent or groceries, happiness feels like a pipe dream. Think of a single mom grinding through 2 jobs, barely covering bills, drowning in worry. Will she lose her apartment? Can she afford her kids' medicine? Her stress is a constant knot in her stomach. Now, imagine she lands a job paying $60,000 a year. Boom. Stable housing, food on the table, maybe even some cash for her kids' soccer games, or a new pair of sneakers. That's not just relief, that's straight up joy. And money made it happen. A 2010 study by Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton found that in the US, happiness rises with income up to about $75,000 a year, roughly $120,000 in 2025 dollars, because that's when you stop sweating the basics. For the poor, every dollar below that threshold means more stress, more sleepless nights, more "how am I gonna make it" moments. For the rich, they're already past that, so their worries aren't about survival. They're about other stuff, like status or investments. Let's dive into stress, because it's a happiness thief, and the rich and poor handle it so differently. If you're poor, financial insecurity is like a dark cloud that never leaves. One flat tire, $200 you don't have, can spiral into missing work, losing your job, or skipping meals to pay for it. The American Psychological Association's 2023 Stress in America survey said 72% of people earning under $50,000 stress about money, compared to just 44% of those making over $100,000. That's a huge gap. The poor face chronic, survival-level stress, which studies link to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical health issues like heart disease. For example, a low-income dad might lose sleep over a broken fridge, $500 he can't spare, knowing his family's food will spoil. He's forced to borrow money, skip a utility bill, or go without something else, and that stress piles up, chipping away at his mental health. Now, compare that to a rich person. A broken fridge? They call a repair service or buy a new one with a credit card, no sweat. Their stress is minimal because money solves the problem instantly, but let's be real. The rich have stress too, just not the same kind. They might worry about a bad business deal, a dip in their stock portfolio, or keeping up with their high society friends. For instance, a wealthy CEO might feel pressure to maintain their lavish lifestyle, say stressing over whether their new yacht impresses their peers. That's real stress, but it's not existential. They're not wondering if they'll eat tomorrow or lose their home. The rich also have options to manage stress that the poor can only dream of. They can afford therapy, say $150 a session, to work through their issues with a professional. They can book a weekend at a spa, drop $1,000 on a relaxing getaway, or hire a personal trainer to channel stress into exercise. A poor person? They're lucky if they can find a free community support group. And even then, they might not have the time or energy after working long hours. The rich can also take time off work to focus on mental health, maybe jet off to a yoga retreat in Bali for $2,000, while the poor are stuck clocking in, no matter how burned out they feel, because missing a shift means missing rent. Money doesn't erase stress, but it gives the rich tools and freedom to manage it, while the poor are often left battling it alone. Now, let's talk joy, because this is where money can really shine. One of my favorite ways money buys happiness is through experiences. Think travel, concerts, or just a fun dinner with your crew. A 2014 study by Thomas Gilovich showed that spending on experiences beats buying stuff because memories last, relationships grow, and you feel more like you. Imagine a low-income family dreaming of Disneyland, a $500 day they can't afford. Their kids beg, but it's just not happening, and that missed opportunity stings. A rich family? They book the trip, maybe even spring for the VIP passes at $1,500, make epic memories, and their kids talk about meeting Mickey for years. The poor are often trapped in survival mode, where even a $20 movie night feels like a splurge, while the rich can say yes to vacations, big family barbecues, or even a spontaneous weekend road trip without checking their bank account. Another example, a poor college student might want to join friends for a music festival. Tickets at $100, but has to say no, missing out on bonding and fun. A rich student? They buy the ticket, maybe even cover a friend. And those shared moments become lifelong memories. Money unlocks those happy vibes, and the rich have way more access to them. Freedom is another huge way money boosts happiness, and it's a total game changer. When you've got cash, you've got choices. You can ditch a toxic job, move to a safer neighborhood, or chase a passion project. A 2021 University of Pennsylvania study said higher income boosts life satisfaction because it gives you control over your life. Picture a guy stuck in a soul-sucking job, working 60 hours a week for minimum wage, hating every second but trapped because he needs the paycheck. If he inherits $100,000, he can quit, enroll in a trade school for $10,000, and start a carpentry business he's always dreamed of. Suddenly, he's waking up excited for work, feeling alive again. The poor feel stuck in dead-end jobs, rough neighborhoods, or even toxic relationships they can't afford to leave, while the rich can pivot. A wealthy person might decide to leave a high-pressure corporate gig, take a 6-month sabbatical costing $20,000, and travel to find themselves. Or they might move to a quieter suburb, dropping $500,000 on a house to escape city stress. The poor don't have those options. They're often forced to stay in situations that drain them. Money gives the rich the power to say, "I'm out," and that autonomy is a massive happiness booster. Oh, and giving back. That's another way money sparks joy. And it feels so good. Helping others is like a happiness superpower, and you need money to make a big impact. A 2008 study by Elizabeth Dunn found that spending on others, like donating or treating friends, boosts your happiness more than spending on yourself. A wealthy person might drop $10,000 to build a community playground, see kids laughing and parents smiling, and feel like they've changed lives. Or they could sponsor a local youth program for $5,000, giving kids a safe place to learn and grow. That sense of purpose is pure happiness. The poor want to give too, but they're often limited to small gestures, like volunteering time or sharing a meal, because they can't spare the cash. A low-income grandma might wish she could pay for her grandkids' school supplies, maybe $50, but has to say no, which breaks her heart. The rich can fund scholarships, start charities, or even just treat their friends to a $100 dinner, and those acts of generosity strengthen bonds and boost their joy. So why does this money can't buy happiness myth keep hanging around? Because we see rich folks who are miserable, celebrities with private jets and $10 million mansions, but struggling with loneliness or addiction. That's not money's fault. It's about missing relationships, purpose, or mental health. The myth also comes from this cultural fear of looking materialistic, like if you admit money matters, you're shallow. But money isn't just for flashy cars or designer bags. It's for solving problems, making memories, and living with intention. The poor feel this the most because they know what lack of money steals. A 2023 World Happiness Report showed that income inequality drives unhappiness, not because the poor are jealous, but because they lack access to opportunities the rich take for granted, like quality healthcare, education, or even a safe place to live. For example, a poor family might live in a noisy, unsafe apartment, paying $800 a month with no way to move, while a rich family can afford a $2 million home in a peaceful neighborhood, giving them calm and security. Money creates those options, and options create happiness. Look, I'm not saying money is the whole deal. You know I keep it real. You can have billions and still be lonely or unfulfilled if you're missing love, purpose, or health. A rich person might have all the toys, but no one to share them with. And that's a different kind of empty. But let's stop acting like money doesn't matter. For the poor, money means stability over stress, memories over missed chances, and the chance to breathe without fear. For the rich, it's a tool to amplify joy, if they use it right. I read about this guy who won a $1 million lottery, and he didn't go wild. He paid off his $70,000 debt, took his family on a $5,000 vacation to a quiet beach, and donated $20,000 to a local shelter. He said it was the happiest he'd ever been. Not because he was rich, but because money gave him peace, time with his loved ones, and a chance to give back. That's what I'm talking about, fam. Money, when used with heart, can open doors to happiness the poor can only dream of. And even the rich need to remember it's about connection, not competition. So, what do you think? Does money buy happiness, or is the old saying still legit? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your stories. I read every single one, and I love hearing from you. If you vibed with this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more real talk.